Hi, welcome to Mouse Ears and Mommy Tears, the podcast where we balance parenthood in the world of Disney. We're your hosts, Natalie,
Jen,
and Nicole.
Each week we will discuss topics about being former Disney kids turned Disney adults to now Disney moms. Stay with us while we unravel this hot mess express.
Hey.
hello.
How are we doing?
We're good. I did not put on a bra all day. I was in my pajamas. It's that kind of Sunday.
I had
did
the
no
opposite
cooking for
Sunday.
the week.
I had to wear heels today, so
oh gosh,
opposite.
No.
I was just trying to survive with the kids today, so it was jammies pretty much all day.
It was not a nice day out. Not a nice day for heels.
Well, did I tell you guys that my sister-in-law randomly sent me a trampoline in the mail?
You did. No. I actually just told Chuck about that today because we were at someone's house that had a trampoline. He's like, I don't know anyone with a trampoline.
Yeah, it was interesting. It showed up at my house. I was like, oh, no, I didn't order this. They're like, listen, lady, I just drop off the packages. That's what I do. So I'm like, okay. And then my sister-in-law's like, hey, did that trampoline come in? I'm like, that's a trampoline. And then 2 days later, box 2 of 2 came. And I'm like, how big is this thing? So it's been in our garage all winter, and Dan put it up today.
Oh.
And my God, it is massive. It is massive. But Nathan was so excited. 10 minutes, and then he was exhausted and was over it. So, it's totally worth it, I guess.
This entertainment for hours.
But I was more concerned when I looked out the window and I saw that Dan was testing it. I'm like, he's gonna break it. He's like, I had to make sure it works before I put my kid on. And I'm like, yeah, whatever you don't want to tell yourself.
I mean, that's fair.
You wanted some quality trampoline time.
He is like the Bandit of real life, I think.
Oh my God, that's so true.
I think all our husbands kind of are.
He is dad goals,
yeah.
But I took the video of the kids on it and I sent it to my sister-in-law, and they're coming at the end of the summer, so I guess her kids will be able to hang out too. So
that'll be fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
But that was the day. I was just watching Dan put this together, and every time I look up, I'm like, this thing is getting bigger by the minute. So I no longer have a backyard. It's like a Mickey Mouse fun house we bought for Ezra, and then giant trampoline. There's no room for anything else. That's the backyard now.
It's fine.
Well, I mean, we don't usually record on a Sunday to talk about our weekends, but it seems like Jenn put a little too much pixie dust on her week with the kids.
It was a rough week.
Yeah, but when I wake up, I look at my Disney Experience app because I'm crazy and I want to look at the wait times. I want to see what's going on. I want to look at my countdowns, and I see a random trip booked. So please tell us.
So first of all, as soon as I told Chuck that you said that, he's like, who checks their My Disney Experience app just randomly? I'm like, Nicole does. Nicole checks it all the time. He's like, how does she even know? I was like, I don't know. She was just on the app. So we get back on Monday from our girls' trip. And then the next Sunday I leave for a family trip. And I'm staying at Saratoga again for 3 nights. We just can't get away with only doing one trip a year. It's apparently a really big deal. And our last trip was in September of last year, and the first week of September. And this year we're not going till August. And we realized that's just too long.
You're also going in November, so no tears for
me. No, we're not going to go in November because we can't go now.
Wait, you're not going in November?
I don't know. Chuck wanted to go in June because he's on paternity leave.
Which makes sense. Then you don't have to take extra time off work.
Time. So, I mean, we might still go in November. I didn't book that one. I booked this one because he has time off. I'm
sure we'll hear your next springtime surprise when you tell us, look, I also booked November.
So before we had kids, I want to say 90% of all the trips that we took, whether it was Disney or not, were a random, we're going in 2 weeks trip. And we just get burnt out at work. And then I'm like, let's just check Disney and see if there's any availability. That's literally all I was doing the other day is I was looking on. I was like, I don't know, maybe there'll be availability. I'll just look. It's literally a month away. So I wouldn't doubt if there wasn't any availability. And then we were looking at dates and we decided we saw a Key West one for, it would have been 30 points total because it's 3 nights.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's
We were going to do it, but it was literally the day after I get back. So we would have landed at like 8:00, Nicole, at night.
Right.
And then I would have had to get on a plane at 6:30 in the morning at the same airport.
You should have just stayed at the airport. Just stayed
I
overnight.
know. And then we also decided that we would bring my mom. So, because she's done a lot for us this year and we just wanted to like treat her. She needs a vacation as much as we do. So we were looking.
Well, I mean, let's be real. It's also helpful for you.
Oh, it
it's
is so
also a
helpful to
treat
have
for
her there.
you.
It's amazing to have her there, but we agreed that it's going to be more of a vacation. We want her to have at least a little bit of a reprieve from children because she's been a really big help with like since I was in the hospital and the baby and all that stuff that's been going on. So we were looking at studios. There's not very many studios at Sleep 5 because now Ellie counts as a person. It's like Ellie was always not a person, but now we're 6 people because like the studios at Sleep 4, it's like 4 plus a baby, like an infant, but that still is only 5. It's like we're 6 now. So we're doing a 1-bedroom, which I haven't stayed in a 1-bedroom since I was a kid. So that's going to be fun.
This is your first trip with 3 kids too, right?
First trip with 3 kids. We're staying at Saratoga, which is the place that we're staying at a week before. And we're getting a 1-bedroom. I already booked some like meals. It's just going to be relaxing.
So talk to us about what the process is like. Like, what do you do once you book for a last minute place, like last minute trip?
So
you have to think about everything. So is like flights the next thing you do? Is like dining the next thing you do? Like I booked my trip 11 months ahead of time.
Yeah,
or
same.
the one before that,
I've never
9
done
months
that.
ahead of time. Because it's like, especially with the kids and with, my husband's line of work, where I don't really have the luxury to be doing trips anymore that are, super spontaneous with 3 kids. So like, what's your process when you do that?
So usually it's a lot more demanding than it was this time. Chuck has the benefit of getting paternity leave through his company. He gets 6 weeks. So he got 3 weeks when Andy was born, and then he like decided to split it because he had a really big conference he had to go to. So he still has 3 weeks left. So you're playing around with dates, trying to figure it out. And that's why he can do it that week. And it's my last week because I'm on maternity leave still. Jersey's amazing. And I get 6 months of maternity leave. And I don't go back until literally the day after we land. So we had some dates to play with where we're both really flexible with our time. That's really the only reason we're able to do it. But also I'm per diem. So whenever I book things, it's a little bit easier for me. I don't have like a strict full-time job like you guys do. But Chuck's is a little bit harder. So it's been hard in the past few years. But this time we literally were sitting on the couch and just trying to figure out what to do during his paternity leave. And I suggested Disney because I always suggest Disney. And he actually bought it this time, which never happened.
Well, me and Nicole just really want to know what kind of drugs you gave him.
Right.
Yeah.
To be fair,
what really was going on?
My husband's such a planner. That's why I'm just like, how did you do this? What spell did you place under Chuck to get him to agree?
Okay, this spell he's under is he's been with me for almost 17 years and he knows the drill by now because 90% of our vacations have always been like this, where I'm just looking and I'm like, hey, by the way. So I was looking, here's what happened. I found the Key West one for 30 points. He was going back and forth, looking at his work schedule, looking at like flights, looking at dining. And I was like, dude, like, we got to decide right now. Like, someone else is going to take it. And he's like, I don't know. And then it wound up that someone else took it because I refreshed and it was gone. And he was so mad that we missed it that he's like, find something else. We're going. And I was like, okay. So it was more of like FOMO, I think.
Like a FOMO thing.
He wanted that thrill of getting like the points.
Yeah.
The good point, the low points.
He likes going for the low points, which is stupid because what we wound up spending is 80 points, so a lot more, but we're getting a 1-bedroom. we bought a new contract this year through Boardwalk, and we have an additional 250 points now. So like, I think he didn't realize how much 250 points can get you, because we did plan, essentially. We figured out how many points we would need for the next 3 years of vacations. And then he was like, "Oh, we'll have like 70 points extra even if we go on this trip." I was like, "Yes, I know. This is what I'm telling you." And so I was able to show him via map. I wanted to try the 1 bedroom, so I'm excited to stay in a 1 bedroom because we'll have a lot of space. And we were looking at the different 1 bedrooms because there were other ones that were available, like Animal Kingdom Lodge was available. But Animal Kingdom Lodge 1 bedroom is
It's small.
it's a king size bed, and then there's a pull out sofa and a sleeper chair. It's not even like a trundle bed. Yeah. Isn't that dumb? So like normally that would be fine, but we're bringing my mom and I'm going to give her the pull out couch, or in our case, the Murphy bed at Saratoga. And then where am I putting the kids? They would have to sleep in a sleeper chair, and like they're not going to both fit on a sleeper chair, but they'll both fit on that trundle bed. So we'll be fine there.
That's
But
like
like
Old Key West. It has a lot of room too. Their 1 bedrooms
their
has a
one
lot of
bedroom
room
is
also.
huge, but they also have a sleeper chair, not a trundle bed.
Yes, true. I wasn't worried
So
about the
it's
sleeper chair because I was going to put Ezra in it, not my mom. So,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Like I'm not having my mom sleep on a trundle bed or a sleeper chair. Like
Hmm.
she gets the bed. So that was our dilemma with things this time. I called my mom last night. I was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" We originally were going to do the June one, and then we lost it. And then I found dates in May. So I called my mom like, "Hey, what are you doing this week? Do you want to come to Disney?" She's like, "Sure." So I tried to book it while I was on with her, and they're like, "You don't have points and you can't even borrow points." And I was like, "Oh, shoot," because it's May and I don't get points until June. So I was like, yeah. I was so angry because I was like, we were going to book
Well,
it and it was
honestly, I feel like
fine.
me and Nicole would be madder at you if you went on your trip right before our trip. Because you'd be like, I was just here.
I was
Except
just,
now it's going to be like that with your family trip. Well, I was just
I was
here.
just
Like,
here.
See, I thought my
But at
turnaround
least,
was quick too. Like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I only have 30 days. Oh, this is great. I only have
I
1 month
have
to go back to
6.
Disney. You're like a week, 6 days.
Literally, it's 6 days. There's still so much availability. I might switch it to Monday for Monday to Thursday because flights are like $500 cheaper. Why are flights
yeah.
cheaper on a Monday than a Sunday? Sunday was always the cheapest day.
Oh, I never had that problem. I always had the opposite. Sunday's always been more expensive. That's why
Really?
we've been flying out. Yeah, I've been flying out Saturdays.
Oh,
Like the
shoot.
past 2 trips that I took, Saturdays were cheaper. And
Wow.
so I've been going like Saturday to Saturday.
I don't know if I've just been searching it so much that Google is like, "Hey, we're gonna make it more expensive because you've searched it too many times." I don't
That's a
ever
thing,
know
yeah.
how to trust those websites, but I'm still playing around with it. And we're going to keep it a surprise for the kids. So we're not telling them that we're going at all. And when I was a kid, my parents did that for us. And it was like the most fun trip ever. Like they woke us up. It was like right after Thanksgiving in 2001. We used to watch the promotion videos from Disney. Like you would get like the video thing in the mail. And we would always watch it before we would go on vacation, and like it like gets you so excited for going. And they showed it to us the night before, and I remember being so disappointed when I went to sleep because I was like, we're not going again until July, and it's November, and I was like so upset. I was in like the 6th grade, and I asked them what we were doing the next day, and they're like, well, we're gonna go to church, and I was like, oh, that's not Disney. So my parents woke us up Sunday morning to take us. I vividly remember this. And I would not get out of bed because I didn't want to go to church.
No, Jen, you're going to worship the mouse. You just didn't realize it.
They literally had to show me the suitcase and that it was packed. I thought they were kidding with me. I thought they were being mean and telling me that we're going to Disney so that I would get out of bed sooner. Like I didn't realize it was dark out and that we like needed to leave for the airport. But once I realized that we were going, it was like the most like I've been to Disney so many times before that, but it was so much fun having it be a surprise because you just weren't expecting it. So I've always wanted to do that for my kids, and this spontaneous trip seems like the perfect opportunity to do it. So we're gonna try and see what we come up with, but Charlie is going to be so excited. One of the other reasons why we
awesome.
really wanted to go in June is because Test Track is closing for refurbishments, and I don't know when it's going to come back open. And that's literally the only thing this kid talks about going on when we go on our August trip. And I've told him 5 times that it's not going to be open, and he doesn't understand. And he keeps telling everyone he's going to go on Test Track, and Chuck is like so upset over it that was one of the reasons why he wants to go.
I don't blame
poor
you.
Charlie.
Trying to sneak in that trip for a Test Track, because I've been telling Zachary in November, like, Test Track might be closed. I don't know. There's no timeline, so I don't want to make him any promises or get his hopes up.
So I told him that they're making it faster.
Yeah.
So he keeps talking about Test Track's going to be faster. Like, if you look at like Disney Food Blog, they always post like, oh, permits showed this, showed that. Something about permits for Test Track until February. So if they close until February, like, that's a long closure
that'll
for a
be a
child
long one, and especially for a place like Epcot that really relies on like the
I
couple
know.
of rides they have. That's going to be a hard hit. That's
Yeah.
definitely going to be a hard hit.
I'm nervous for what the wait times are going to be like for all the other rides, because Test Track is like takes a heavy brunt of that. So now it's going to be dispersed between like Soarin', Guardians, Remy, and Frozen, which are already high like wait time rides.
So to keep like, things moving quickly and as anticipated, like, are you planning like Genie Plus every day just to get like your, you know, rides worth it and everything in the small amount of time you have?
Yeah, so we're only going 3 nights, 4 days, which is only, right? But we agreed that we're gonna like try and keep it more low key and casual. Like, I want to spend some time at the pool. We're at Saratoga. We're gonna go to Disney Springs, which we never go to. And I said we never buy Genie Plus. If anything, we do like the lightning lane maybe. If something's wait time is low, we run to it. This time we're like, I don't care if the wait time is anything longer than what our kids can handle at that moment. We just don't go on it, or I buy a lightning lane, and it is what it is. I don't care. Like, we actually were able to make it very low key. I reserved a couple of restaurants. I'm going to try and get Topolino, but obviously I'm 50 days out, not 60 days, so wasn't able to get it. But I did get Garden Grill and Crystal Palace and Trattoria al Forno, so I got some of really good places we like.
Hey, I mean, reservations for dining have been pretty good.
I
I'm
know.
not gonna
There's a
lie. I mean,
lot.
I don't know what they did or how they like dispersed things with the change in the app. Maybe you know how now you can do like 10 days at a
I
time.
really like that.
Yeah. I don't know if that did anything to it, but twice I saw Victoria and Albert's available.
Wow.
Twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the times during our trip, I was very, very tempted to be like, we need to go and experience this. Now I feel like that'll never happen because it just became a Michelin starred restaurant.
I know. They're probably going to increase the prices now.
So now it's gonna right up there, and God knows how that's gonna go. But I've never in my life seen it available, and like now I've seen it 2 different times available. And even for our trip, I was surprised with the timing that is available. Like, so much was available.
I can
So
still
I don't
book
know what
stuff
they're
right
doing
now.
there.
I can still book
and
stuff.
good stuff.
Yeah.
You can still book stuff for your April trip, probably.
Right.
I keep checking, and we are going to book something for dinner on Sunday too. And we like had our pick. We literally booked this, mind you, last night at 11 o'clock at night. And then I just randomly booked some things, and I was like, I need to go to bed because I'm so tired. So I haven't even really looked to see, but we need something for Sunday. And there's actually a lot available. Like, I can go to Yachtsman, I can go to Cali Grill, like some like the ones that are harder to get have a lot of availability. I know ones like even Storybook Dining in them, they have availability. I just don't want to eat dinner at 4 or 8.
Book is one of those hard ones because it like opens at 4.
It opens at 4.
So it's like, yeah, there's like, you need that sweet spot with the kids. So it's like there could be availability, but like 9:55 p.m. isn't gonna work for me. You know?
No, like we're keeping this low key and chill. Like, we're gonna be there on Monday night, which is Epcot's extra magic hour. So we're just gonna float around, and if the kids are awake, they're awake. If we're tired, we'll go back. But and when we're there that Monday, Communicore Hall, whatever they're calling it, that opens. Like, I'm there the opening day of it. So
Okay,
I don't know
so
what it's going to be.
us and our listeners are really going to count on you to give us an opening day,
I'm not gonna lie, I have no
joke
idea
on
what it
it.
is. I don't know what they're doing with it. I tried to look it up and I learned
I
nothing.
think that's going to be the new hall, like where they do like, remember they used to do the food and wine like
I know,
classes and
but
training
Yeah.
stuff?
is there like anything in it? Is there like a ride or a
I
I know
thought
not a
I
ride,
read
but like an
think it's
something
like
attraction?
interactive
no.
experiences.
What was it called? Innovations East and West, the things that they took down.
Yes.
Is it going to be like
Yes.
those things where like you can like put a
Yes.
fire out?
I don't even know if that's what it was called, but in 2019, when I did my anniversary trip with Dan, it was food and wine.
Yeah.
And they still had the culinary experiences.
Yeah,
And it
yeah.
was in a building that no longer exists, but it was like you can buy specialty food products. There were celebrity chefs doing specialty
Mm.
things. There was a whiskey wine tasting we did,
Oh,
like a
that's
whiskey
fun.
tasting or whatever that we did. Yeah. So then they took that building away, and there hasn't, like, food and wine has been, and I know a hot take here, but has been like every other festival, because that
Yeah, they're
that
all the
has been
same.
one of the coolest things about food and wine was the experiences you can pay extra for to do. And they took that away with the
Yeah.
building. So
Right.
from my understanding, Communicore Hall is supposed to be like the new building where those kind of experiences would be held.
Hmm. Well,
But you'll
I'll
have
be
to
there
let
for
us
it.
know, because I'm
Yeah.
sure.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, you'll have to let us know.
It'll still be the annual pass holder day things, so we'll see if the characters randomly pop up and scare the crap out of my daughter. That'll be fun.
That's good times. Good times. Like, all right, so now we heard all the like wonderful positive things about your trip. Let's hear
Yes.
some grind your ears here. Now who
All
wants
right,
to
you
go
ready for
first?
my
Do you want to go
grind my
first?
ears?
Yes.
I am so wondering if it's the same thing right now.
So my
I'm so
biggest
nervous.
grind my ears every single time when I'm booking through DVC is I hate the freaking website and I just wish they had an app. Like, just get an app. Please have an app. That's my grind
I'm
my
already
ears.
with that.
Like, they don't
That's
have an app. There's an
crazy.
app for everything else,
Mhm.
but there is no app for DVC. And like, it would make my life so much easier. Last night when I was trying to book this, the amount of times it logged me out and I had to log back in and then I missed things, or it's refreshing, or we're working on it with the seven dwarves comes up. Like, there's
And now they make you like sign in for every little thing, like, and a
yes,
passcode.
Everything.
every
The
time. And then I
stupid
get a
passcode.
notification telling me that I signed in. I'm like, I know I signed in. I get an
You
email
probably
every
had
single
like
time.
57 notifications that you signed in.
In your
Yes,
email. You have
in
signed
my
in. You
email
have signed
every
in.
time. But you have to like go through the whole process every time and you have to select how many people and then you have to select like I have two contracts, you have to select which contract you're taking it out of. And like there's so many steps that you lose out. And like mine, it didn't matter because I'm just booking randomly, just checking. But when you are booking at
I
that
have
11
lost.
month or 7 month window and you are trying to get that exact reservation that you
Yeah.
want, it is not easy. It glitches and then you hit the button and you just pray. It is so much harder to book a DVC resort on your like opening window than it is to book a dining reservation because the websites just are so different and I don't understand why the Disney's like actual website is so much better than the Disney Vacation Club one. When I bought in our like DVC person, that person even told me that there should be an app and there isn't. And that was back in
Well, I feel like they've
2015.
been selling us the dream of an app forever,
Yeah.
and it's never been there. I will give them credit on one thing and then walk it back. So it used to be 10 times harder to book something with borrowed points
Yes.
through DVC. I
Yes.
will give them credit that within this year, they allowed you to go ahead and they'll say, hey, you don't have enough points. Would you like to borrow them from your next one? And
Yeah.
you click yes, and they'll let you. Nicole, you are so lucky you are a new DVC person, and that probably was there for you, like
It
at
was.
this point.
I mean, yeah.
You would have to be on the phone with DVC, which can go anywhere from 30 seconds to an hour and a half on hold.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get on the phone, I'm like, yes, hi, I'd like to book this room. And they're like, oh, yeah, no, that's taken. Because you couldn't grab it the second it was available. You had to wait on the phone, which means precious seconds are being lost. And that, I mean, I totally agree with your grind your ears. That would have been, if I was going to go that route, that would have been the thing that pisses me off the most, was that part.
Yeah.
Like, how you would lose rooms. Now they let you at least do it online. But where is the app? It's crazy.
That's my thing.
There's an iPlay app. If you want to do the Star Wars game in Galaxy's Edge, you have to download an app within the app to get that to work.
And the merchandise, like Shop Disney, is its own app now too. That used to be in the Disney app. Like, it all used to be one app. Disneyland has its own app. Like, the cruise line has its own app. Why don't we get one as DVC? That's my grind my ears.
I think it's a great one. I think it's a great one. Yeah.
Frustrating.
Okay, I will go next.
All right, what's yours?
It was not the one that I had.
I'm glad it's not.
It's funny too, especially since this is a last minute trip that you're taking, and I try to think what would be like a great essential thing for a last minute trip for myself that I can no longer do. R.I.P. Mouse Capros. Mouse Capros was the best.
It was the greatest. Please come back if you own Mouse Capros.
Best $6.
Please bring it back, Mouse Capros.
I mean, best $6 I've ever spent in my life. Did not do me wrong whatsoever. It was fantastic. And I'll just go ahead and say it. It's not like we're a sponsor or anything. Mouse Dining sucks.
It sucks.
It sucks at that point.
Like, and they also did experiences too. So like, I was able to get Capture Your Moment.
That's how I did.
Me too. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. I've never had to do it, but you can do it for those things. So I'm with you. Mouse Capros, please come back. We miss you.
And you know what? I just went on today, like when we were just discussing this was going to be our topic. I went on today to like see if they still had their goodbye message, and they did. Like, as of October of 2023, they closed down because Disney updated that you had to sign in to look for dining. And that messed with how they were doing it, because I think their algorithm was just picking it up. But if they have to sign in every single time,
that's crazy.
I get it.
Yeah, I won't be able to pick it up. So,
I get it.
And they decided not to make the like updates.
But I get it. It's hard.
I remember.
But long live Mouse Capros.
I remember when I broke the news to you guys, because my friend texted me, who I told her about Mouse Capros for her first trip, and it like got her so many reservations. And I think I remember texting you guys, and you both were like, "What? What?"
We were heartbroken.
I remember being in the car. And like Dan, like we're driving the kids to daycare, and he's talking, and he's like, "You're not even listening to me at all." I'm like, "Shut up!"
Having a moment.
Like,
I know.
I know.
I literally like shouted out loud, because I used to recommend that to everyone. Whenever anyone asked me about anything Disney related, I always told them, follow Disney Food Blog on Instagram, learn where you want to eat, figure everything out, and then when it's time to book, use Mouse Capros to help you get those reservations. Not anymore. I literally, last night, I was delirious and exhausted. Didn't get Topolino. And I told Chuck, I was like, oh, I'll just sign up for it. He's like, I thought it went away. And I was like, oh, it did. Like, I just relived the whole
disappointment.
It was a good
I was like, you're right.
It's gone. I miss it.
That's a good grind your ears. I am fully on board with that one. It makes me want to cry.
No. Well, my grinds here.
Go ahead, Nicole, make us angry.
Mine is a little different. All right. So I'm not knocking the reusable cups, because we have a ton in our cabinet from all of our trips. So my grind your ears with those reusable cups. Why do I have to only use them at the resorts? Why can't I use them in the parks? Why can't I bring, it is Disney property, why can't I bring the mugs and just fill it up at a quick service in the parks?
I agree with that. I love the mugs. They are the greatest thing ever, but I do not care about them there. I want them here at home.
Right. I use mine every day at work. I put my coffee in it and I pretend like I'm in Disney. It just gets me through my day. But why can't what if those mugs were like $21, $25, something like that? I don't even remember. And we bought two. We have both kids. I want to use it in the quick services. Angry.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it right now. I have like 3 or 4 of them. Okay, and I have to buy them. It's a staple. I'm with you, but can we just agree that you should probably not put hot beverages in them because it is the worst kind of plastic.
No.
And you put a hot beverage in there, and it immediately goes cold in 15 seconds.
But
And
that's
I
why I
am
like
guilty
it.
of it too.
But I like hot
You
coffee,
like
so it
your
makes me drink
plastic
it.
coffee.
It
See,
makes me
I
drink it
don't
quick.
like hot coffee. I like it to be room temperature. So that's why I love the mug, because I can drink it knowing that in like 10 minutes, my coffee is going to be a perfect temperature.
All
I
right,
feel
so
like there's gonna be a lawsuit on those cups in 10 years, and we're all gonna be like, did you drink out of these
Well,
mugs? Do
I
you have a
have
tail now?
so many of them because you used to get them with the dining plan. And if you did a split stay and you did the dining plan both times, you get a new one every time you check in. One
Yep.
time, Chuck and I had a split stay where we stayed for 3 nights and we had 3 different hotels. So I got 3 mugs out of that trip. He didn't let me bring one of, like, he was like, you're not taking all of these home. We don't need 6 cups. So I only got to take 3 home. We left them at the hotel because what the hell are we going to do with them? And
I missed them so bad that I paid money for them. Our last girls trip, I bought one.
I'm going to buy
On our
one.
last day. On
Yeah.
our last day, I bought it. So I didn't even use it.
You didn't even use
But,
it for
like,
what
the
it's
3
just
supposed
drinks.
to be
No,
used
I
for.
bought it for home. So I'm with you. I think you should be able to use that mug.
right,
Well,
because
that's
it's
like
well,
how,
like you're staying near hospitality house, or like
yeah.
you're having breakfast and then you want to go to the park and you just want to hop on the bus or however you're getting to the park,
Yeah.
but you have these mugs that are useless to you until
Yeah,
you
once
get
you
back to
drink
your
it all,
resort.
it's gone. Like you can't fill it up
You
again.
do know that they just updated the mug policy. I think now you can use them at like any other hotel and not
Yeah,
just
it used to be
yours.
just at your
Yes.
hotel that you can fill it up, and now you
Yeah.
can use it at any hotel. But I mean,
Yeah.
really, who's going to
Still.
another hotel very often? You're not going to seek out their quick service location 9 times out of 10.
It does
It's
work too,
frustrating.
because we did do that. We stayed at Old Key West in August. We went to Topolino's at Riviera. We went to the quick service, filled them up. So they definitely
Yeah.
work.
It works. I mean, I love the mugs for when I'm home, but when I'm there, I don't want to bring those mugs with me in the parks because I don't like the handle. I can't drink it. Like it doesn't fit well.
Yeah.
I understand
Agreed.
that.
I
I
know what you
like
mean.
that
You know
the
what I mean?
50th anniversary mug, they had it had a cover.
Yeah,
And
I like that
I
better.
respected that because it was a good cover. And I was like,
Yeah.
why haven't you been doing this the entire time?
Well, those lids are horrible. Have you ever like even just
Yeah.
like tilted it a little bit? Like it just comes out. And there's no reason
Those
for a
lids are
lid, to be
trash.
honest.
They are.
It is
They
not
are
a good
trash
lid.
lids. $25 for that? I mean, that's like I can get a simple modern cup for the same amount of money, and it
Seriously.
actually keeps
Right.
And
my
mine
drink
thing's
warm.
great. I love mine. My simple modern.
Yeah,
Like I have
mine too.
oh, it's great. I love it. The kids have them too.
I'm sorry, Nicole. Simple modern is for us peasants who don't have the Stanleys, okay? Because I know that you have
Wait, as I'm drinking out of, I don't know, a plastic Disney cup.
nothing to talk about here.
Oh, you got your fancy one.
I think on my
Nothing
trip
fancy.
with Andrew, I am going to buy an actual ceramic mug for my desk at work.
Oh, that's
So I won't
good,
die of plastic fumes or
I need to buy
whatever.
just like
with
a
the
travel
plastic.
mug, like not a reusable like resort one because they suck. But I need like an actual like cute like one with a lid with
Like stainless
without a
steel,
handle.
insulated. Yeah.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
handle.
yeah.
But
I want
now,
you guys to know that now we just talk about mugs for 20 minutes. That's
yeah.
how old we are. Now we're just talking about mugs.
Well, you got me thinking that why can't you get them at a quick service? Like also, oh,
Uh-oh.
scared me there. So with the popcorn buckets, you can bring them back from an old trip and
Yes.
fill them up with the refill. But with a mug, they're only good for your stay.
Right.
Fair. Unfair.
Right?
It's true.
Is that right?
It's true. I heard that.
It is. As a cast member, we bought our Guardians of the Galaxy popcorn bucket in Epcot our last trip. We love it. It's like my favorite one. And I was like, hey, I have a 50th anniversary popcorn mug. Can I bring that back my next trip and have 2 refillable popcorn buckets? They're like, yes, you can. You can bring any popcorn bucket you have
Yeah.
from
And I
any
think
time.
you can use it on the cruise ship too, because my children are currently obsessed with watching vlogs about the cruise ship, but a lot of them bring their own pop. I haven't watched enough. I have to like actually look at it, but I want to say that you can bring it on the cruise ship too, any of them, and they'll fill it up for you with like that refill policy.
It's amazing. $2.25 for a refill. Oh,
That's great.
Perfect. It's
I mean,
perfect.
if you get that owner's locker at DVC and you could just keep it in there too, and you don't have to like lug it back and forth, like that's a great investment. And why don't they do that with the drinks?
Right.
Owner's
Which
locker,
I think, by the way, like on a side note, we should talk off this podcast about splitting the cost of one.
Ooh.
Just saying. I was thinking about that the other day. But we should probably end
That
this
is a
here
good
and
idea.
Jen sign us off.
Well, with that, I want to talk about this owner's locker right now.
Yeah.
So,
No.
while
That's
you're
actually-
home, your kids are throwing their toys around, making forts out of your whole dining room set and nuggets and every blanket that you own in your household. Just throw some pixie dust on it, count down to your next trip, book a spontaneous trip like Jen. Who
Join
knows?
me,
Do whatever
yeah.
that needs you. Do whatever you need to do to make you happy and think Disney.
All right, guys. Love
Bye.
you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.